President Trump praised Shedeur Sanders' victory after his stunning debut, claiming they tried to stop him and igniting a political firestorm that ripped through the very foundation of the NFL.
President Donald Trump posted on social media, "Shedeur Sanders was great. Wins first game. Career start as a pro for Cleveland. Great genes. I told you so." Sanders responded Wednesday in his news conference. Shedeur responds, "He's definitely been a supporter for a minute. So I'm just thankful for him, even taking time out of his day to be able to speak out and support."
Yeah, he definitely been a supporter, for a minute. So I'm just thankful for him, even taking time out his day to be able to speak out, and support.
What's unfolding is not just a sports story. It's a raw public battle for power, influence, and the soul of America's most watched sport. And the former president is using his considerable platform to expose what he claims is a conspiracy against the league's newest star.
President Trump praises Cleveland Browns' Shedeur Sanders.
Does the president think he deserves credit for Sanders getting picked? And does he think going to the Browns is better than being undrafted?
Hey, all I will say is the president put out a statement, and a few rounds later he was drafted. So I think the facts speak for themselves on that one, Peter.
The worlds of professional football and national politics rarely collide with this much explosive energy. Yet, that is exactly what happened when the former president stepped into the arena to publicly praise Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders. After Sanders clinched his first career start with a decisive victory, the statement issued was more than a mere congratulation. It was a rallying cry and a calculated shot across the bow of the NFL establishment. The public remarks declared that Sanders was great and had great genes. Donald Trump is not just supporting a promising athlete, he is using Sanders' success as a tool to fight a decades-old war against the NFL owners.
So I'll make sure to remind people that he was not surprised that Sanders led the Browns to a 24-10 win after criticizing NFL teams during the draft for not picking up Deion's son. He said, quote, "Shedeur Sanders was great. Wins first game, career start as a pro for Cleveland. Great genes, I told you so." Sanders went 11 for 20 with 209 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And you can just tell Trump had been waiting on this "I told you so" since he said, quote, "He should be picked immediately by a team that wants to win."
The phrase "great genes" immediately became a focal point of discussion. While some interpreted it as a genuine acknowledgement of the incredible athletic lineage, the prime-time legacy passed down from his legendary father, others found the language concerning, especially given the context of previous controversial comments made during the draft cycle. However, the analysis here suggests that the deeper intent of the former president's words was not necessarily to praise genetics, but to frame the entire Sanders family as an inherently superior, undeniable force that the NFL's good old boys club tried and failed to ignore. It was a slight aimed at the judgment and competence of the owners who had hesitated.
For him getting mad enough to expose the inner dealings with the NFL.
Tonight are unified by the same great American values. We're proud of our country. We respect our flag. Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, "Get that son of a bitch off the field right now"?
To understand the political weight of this moment, one must trace the former president's tumultuous, decades-long history with the National Football League. This animosity is the key engine driving his public support for Sanders. He was never just a casual fan. He was a serious businessman who wanted entry into the exclusive circle of NFL ownership. This obsession led to several major conflicts. Most notably his involvement in the short-lived USFL, United States Football League, in the 1980s, which attempted to compete directly with the NFL. The USFL ultimately failed, and the belief held by many is that the former president was locked out and actively resisted by the established NFL ownership. He tried to buy teams. He did business with the billionaires who ran the league, but he was never truly in their inner sanctum. In this context, his praise of Shedeur Sanders is a tactical move. By using his platform to validate the idea that the owners tried to prevent Sanders from succeeding, he is reinforcing his own narrative as the one who truly knows the league's inner workings. He is essentially saying, I know what these people are like. I know the dark money and power dynamics at play, and I know they didn't want this kid to win. This act transforms a simple sports narrative into a compelling tale of corruption and exposure. By publicly congratulating Sanders and stating that they tried to stop him, the former president gave immense validation to this collusion hypothesis. He essentially took a widely discussed conspiracy theory and elevated it with the authority of his own voice and political machine. He is telling the world that this young star beat the system and overcame the insiders who actively sought to keep him down. The story of Shedeur Sanders cannot be fully separated from the towering legacy of his father, Deion "Coach Prime" Sanders. Coach Prime is an undeniable magnet for big personalities. Celebrities, billionaires, and presidents have all gravitated toward the cultural force he represents. Shedeur is now carrying that primetime legacy into the professional realm, and in doing so, he is perfecting the brand at a scale appropriate for the modern media landscape. In a generation where fame is rapidly distributed, Shedeur's impact is amplified, making his ascent a cultural event that transcends football. He has become super famous at a time when competition for attention is fiercer than ever. But former president's actions are a predictable move to attach himself to this massive cultural moment. He understands that aligning with the Sanders family, a powerful, winning, influential force, is a way to project his own power and maintain relevance in a conversation that dominates American culture. Power respects power, and the primetime brand is one of the most powerful forces in sports today. Ultimately, the commentary surrounding this controversial praise reveals that this is about more than just a quarterback and a political figure. This is a crucial battle for who gets to shape the narrative of America's most watched sport. The NFL is a massive engine of influence, and its stories of triumph, failure, and cultural alignment resonate across the country. By intervening, the former president is forcing a national conversation that validates his own long-held grievances against the league. He is telling people to look beyond the scoreboard and see the political machinations at work. Whether one agrees with the politics or the sports analysis, the impact of his voice on Shedeur Sanders' already massive star power is undeniable. Two powerful men, one a political giant and the other a rising sports phenom, are now linked in a storyline that pits them against the powerful, entrenched, and supposedly corrupt NFL insiders. With his play on the field, Shedeur Sanders is forcing everyone, from sports legends to presidents, to talk about him. And in doing so, he has become the unwitting yet powerful catalyst for this dramatic clash of titans.